My guy, Gene Deal, man. You already know why we here. The verdict, it came in. How you feeling about it, man?
Yo, my man, listen here. I really don't have no feelings behind it, but this shit is mad funny to me, bro. Because we've been talking about this shit for so long. And like today, I was getting all kind of prank calls. People was calling my phone talking about, Diddy didn't do it, Diddy didn't do it, Diddy didn't do it, and hang up. I was like, yeah. Then I had Unique Mecca Audio call me talking about, no, Rico, no, Rico, Rico must go. Rico gotta go. Rico, I was like, man, these motherfuckers are crazy. And you got people out of here celebrating, man. Yo, check it out. They are celebrating, but he's still going to jail. You understand? They celebrate, I was thinking about some stuff. I said, yo, they celebrating for a psychotic narcissist, a sociopath sex offender, abusing and degrading women, beating on them, brother, and having them appease him and his homosexual tendencies by letting random men, prostitutes, male prostitutes, brother, ejaculate their sexual juices on them so he can lick them off. Is this what's happening in the fucking hood now? Is that what's good in the hood? Tell me, is that what's happening in the streets, brother? Is that what the industry that came down to now? They celebrating him. This is what this man is. I talked about his character, bruh. In court, we heard stuff that came up that none of us know. They out here celebrating. Yo, and talk about, yo, what Gene gonna do now? How Gene feel now? Gene good in the hood. I can go open up my refrigerator anytime I want to. Gene good in the hood. Yo, these people like, they don't understand. You ain't lived my life, bruh. You ain't been through the stuff I've been through, seen the things I saw. What you eat don't make me shit. And they wonder about how Gene gonna feel. I'm good. Yo, bro, let me just say something to you, man. Nah, I don't like this. I don't f with this. I said this 1,000 times. In the infamous words of Brutus, for all you smart motherfuckers, when he went to the Senate and said what he said about Caesar. I'm going to say the same shit about Diddy, but in my way. I'm not here to praise this nigga. I'd rather see him buried. And y'all can say and feel however you want to. Because that's the way he felt about people we all used to be around and love. Y'all can't feel what I feel. Y'all don't see what I see. But it's good. The judge showed us today. They talking about some bail hearing. They talk about, yo, we gonna, because he had 2 charges. I don't understand that people sitting there talking about he gonna get probation. No, dummy. There's a mandatory federal guidelines that the judge has to go by. If he don't go by those federal guidelines and the prosecution don't agree with it, they can appeal what the judge ruling is. So what they're gonna have to do, he's gonna have to sit there for at least 6 weeks. And they're gonna do what they call a pre-sentence report. In that pre-sentence report, it's gonna have certain guidelines that the judge gonna look at. The judge know the case. The judge know all what was thrown out. Judge know all what was contested and everything like that. The judge know the case better than anybody. Do you understand me, Mighty? So the judge is the one who's gonna decide. Just like today, can we get a bail? His mama going in there and she signed for $1 million bail and all that. He think he getting bail. And then the judge read some papers. This is how dumb people is. Why you think Cassie lawyer was there the last couple of days? They already knew this was going to happen. What did I say, Mighty? I said that if it goes before January the 4th, it ain't going to look good for the prosecutor. Didn't I say that? I said that means that they probably just get him on the sexual charges. But if it goes past the 4th, that means they really want to do their job and see and get this nigga a lot of time. Because they knew they had proved the sexual with the prostitutes, you know, paying them to come and have sex with the girls and everything like that. But we found out a lot of things about this dude in this trial, bruh. A lot of shit none of us even knew. But they celebrating this. This dude is psychotic. I don't care what you say, bruh. You look at some of the stuff that he did, and like I say, that's what's good in the hood now. That's how y'all getting down now. Licking another man's sperm off his girl. Beating women. This shit was crazy, bruh. So now, when they figure out it's gonna be up to the judge, the defense and the prosecution gonna get together with the judge and they're gonna try to agree on some numbers. The defense gonna get them some numbers. The prosecution gonna give up some numbers and stuff like that, and they're gonna agree to them. But the final decision is gonna be the judge. And after the judge read those letters from Cassie, lawyer, and her friend Nash, shout out to Miss Pleasant for being in the courtroom today. Cassie friend wrote a letter, a 3-page letter to the judge, 3 or 4-page letter to the judge. And the judge made a statement that he had completely changed his mind about some bail based on some third-party letters that he had received. Third-party letters he received. The judge know Puff is dangerous in so many ways. The jurors know that he's dangerous in so many ways. The only reason that the prosecution went for the RICO and the racketeering because they wanted to take all his money. They wanted to leave him broke. But it's some guidelines that saying doing sex trafficking that they can still probably do that, but they can't. And this is my own assumption. Why they can't is because they can't prove that he made any money from the sex trafficking. You understand? If Puff made money through the sex trafficking, like he was selling Gina and them to them guys, or he was letting niggas hit not Gina, Cassie and Jane Doe, you understand? Well, the trial is over now. Ain't her name Daphne? Yeah, it's over. It's Daphne. The trial is over now. So if he was making money off of them, then the prosecution can go after his finances and shit. But I don't believe, and don't quote me on this, but I'm damn near sure they would have a hard time to get his finances based on the sex trafficking because he didn't make no money from that. He was paying $10,000 a week to this and paying the prostitutes and stuff like that. So he didn't make no money. But had he made money and he was selling them off, yeah, it could, you know what I'm saying? It could be like that. But I don't think they have a leg to stand on that. You understand? But the prosecution did a great job, you understand, for what they wanted. I want y'all to peep game right here. They wanted to humiliate him, embarrass him, put him in jail for a little bit, which they're gonna do, and they wanted to take his finances. That's why the RICO and the racketeering came apart. Because they could have put him in jail, guaranteed 10 years, right off the bat. For what? The gun charges. They could have proved that real easy. They found the weapons in his house, in his room. You bring the officers there who took the room and secured the weapons. Where did you get this weapon from? It was in the fourth room down the hall, the master bedroom suite. You bring in the people who clean up the house. Who lives in the fourth bedroom, bathroom in the suite? Oh, that's Mr. Combs' room. How do you know that's Mr. Combs' room? Well, I clean it. How often do you clean that room? Twice a day or after the freak off or he didn't have no freak offs at home. That's why they can't take his house and stuff like that. And he used the hotel. Because if he had the freak offs in the house, they could take his house for the sex trafficking and the what's it called, but he didn't do that. They didn't say he had freak off in the house or nothing like that. He had them in the hotels. So now, so you said the fourth bedroom is Mr. Combs. You seen him in there. You clean the room, stuff like that. Boom, boom. Now you get the waitress, the waiter, the cook, whoever take him his food. Uh, you cook for Mr. Combs? Yeah, I cook for Mr. Combs. Do you ever serve him in his room? Plenty of times. So which room is Mr. Combs? It's the fourth bedroom, the master suite, down the hall on the second floor. And you took the food there. How many times you say you take the food there to him a week? Well, if he's in the room all day, you understand? Uh, 2, 3 times a day, or whenever he call, he want me to make him a cheeseburger with applesauce. Whatever the case. So that's Mr. Combs' room. They could establish that those guns came from Mr. Combs' room, and under the federal law, because they was defaced, he was a mandatory 10 years. They didn't even charge him with the guns. They had the guns in the description, but they did not charge him with illegal possession of a firearm, automatic weapons. You understand? Defacing the automatic weapons. They didn't charge him with none of that. I talked about this stuff for a long time. The federal government gave him a pass. I even thought they was going to do some tax evasion shit on him. Because 9 times out of 10, his taxes and everything, he was hiding money, doing all kinds of shit. Bruh, this case had nothing to do with really putting Puff in jail. Because those people are educated enough to know they could have won that case by other charges and they didn't even go for it. They didn't even go for it. That gun charge was locked, sealed, and they didn't even go for it. Why? It was about them going in there, getting those tapes. I think the prosecutor name was Damian Williams. He was sent there and put that because somebody told him in high places. Puff may be the Black Jeff Epstein. He got all the tapes of some people that are friends of ours. They found out that he had those tapes of them. Y'all go get them. Why is the southern state of New York going all the way over in California and down in Miami when they have their own divisions? Why? People ain't thinking about that. They went down there because some people told them, yo, y'all go down there and y'all go get these tapes from this dude. Because we know he got them. And he got them stored in one of these houses. They go in there, they do a raid. Bruh. They brought out they said close to 900 some bottles of baby oil. I know this for a fact. When you do a raid, you do what they call a field test on any substance you bring out that house. You do a field test on any substance that you bring out that house. They not bringing 900 bottles of baby oil out that shit if it was just baby oil. Bruh, something is rotten in Denmark. They talking about they found roofies and some shit like that in the eye drops. You ain't find nothing in the baby oil. So when you did the field test, why did you decide to bring 900 and something bottles of baby oil out the house? Something is rotten in Denmark, brother. It just don't sit right with me. And people can say I'm hating in this island, I'm just mad because man, the nigga still going to jail. I don't care for him. I don't give a fuck about him. Fuck him, anybody who looked like him, got his last name, and came in on a boat with him. When you do the people I love wrong, ain't no makeup, all this other bullshit like that. Everybody got me as being a fucking disgruntled employee and all this other bullshit. Get the fuck up out of here. I left in my own accord. Always kept two good jobs outside my bad boy hustle, outside my street hustle. And when I mean street hustle, giving parties, boat rides, events. Getting back to this case, this dude caught a blessing because Pimp Diddy got the charges that a regular pimp would get. Those charges is what they give Bishop Don Juan, Pimpin' Ken. Back in the day, those are the charges that they would get. He got pimp charges. So now he's pimping Diddy. It's crazy, bro. In this case, Cassie and Daphne both was victims, but the jury and probably was looking for more women that was victimized in the sex trafficking thing. And then if they would have brought in more women, and there was more women out there. I talked to a couple of women myself. And I was like, even the women who did the civil suits, the prosecution didn't want to bring them in because they were doing civil suits. And they knew that the defense would get on them and try to make it a shamble about, oh, it's about money. But still in all, when he go to jail, watch how many women and how many people come forward on their civil claims. You're going to have a lot of men come forward too. Watch and see. Our people got a strange way and they pick and choose who they should be loyal to, and it's strange, bruh, how they celebrating this demon, bruh. They celebrating this demon. Do you understand that? The RICO law, you understand? The racketeering, criminal enterprise, and corruption, all this other bullshit like that. It was hard for the jury to take that in because when they hear about RICO law, they hear about racketeering, they think about the mafia. They think about the mafia. So they couldn't come to grips with that. And that's okay. But I know this for a fact. He ain't getting no time served. He ain't getting no less than 5 years. He's gonna get the mandatory minimum or he gonna get more. He's gonna get the mandatory minimum or he's gonna get more. Point blank. So all you people that's celebrating and want to know how Gene Deal feel, I'm all right. This is my motherfucking Othello. This is my Macbeth. This is my tragedy in our time. This is our tragedy. Pimp Diddy going to jail. And I'm fine with that. I'd rather see the nigga going to hell. But if this the plan that God got it for him right now, it's God's plan. And what y'all don't understand, y'all celebrate thinking that it can't happen in jail. They might put him in a couple of places before he make it over there to Madoc, R. Kelly, rest of the criminals that's have easygoing spots and stuff like that. But it still can happen there. Somebody get mad. Somebody got a relative or something like that he did something to that we don't know about. And they run into him. And they hit him with his own words. Take that, take that. Then what y'all gonna say? I ain't worrying about it, Mighty. This shit is funny to me, man. This shit is real funny that the prosecution spent all that money, all that time, and all that resources when they had legitimate charges that they could have put on him other than the RICO, other than the racketeering. That gun charge is mandatory. So now you got to realize this. A lot of people going to bring up cases to the federal government. This becomes case law now. They went into Diddy versus the southern state of New York. It's whereas that they run in somebody's house, they find some guns in some rooms. The person is proven that they lived there. That's his room. But the federal government never charged him with him, and he never got time for it. You know how many people are going to bring that up in case law? So why is the federal government going after my people now? Why? It's a lot of people going to use that, bro. It's a lot of people going to use that. But I want to say, y'all, man, how do y'all celebrate somebody that we know that practically every woman that he been with He didn't beat her. Oh, she liked it. That's what y'all say. He was rich and she stayed with him. She wanted it. Y'all giving a nigga a pass because he got money. Some of the girls say he raped them. No means no. But y'all giving him a pass because he got money. Some of the girls said he had dudes defecating and peeing in their mouth and peeing on them and stuff like that. Y'all giving him a pass. I got a phone call from one of my good friends, and she said, Gene, my friend called me and she was screaming, I'm a Puffy won, Puffy won. And I was like, I'm gonna shout her out. Kim, I said, yo, Kim, he didn't win. She said, I know, but people around here celebrating and wonder how Gene Deal feel. I feel good. Because if that's what y'all celebrating in the hood, I'm glad I don't live there no more. I'm glad I don't live there no more. If that's how the music industry is doing it right now, I'm glad I don't work there no more. I don't work for nobody in the industry no more. And if you street niggas is holding this dude down, I'm glad I wasn't never in the streets. Because if that's how y'all giving it up, fuck y'all and feed y'all beans. That's what I got to say about that. That's what I feel about that. This case right here, it ain't over till the fat lady sing. And the judges want to be singing a tune for her. The jury made their verdict. They did the best they could with what they had. The people who wanted more, we was let down by the prosecution. They had more. They could have done more. But I think they were basically concentrating on trying to take his riches from him. And the law is funny. It says that if you sex trafficking and you paying prostitutes doing that sex trafficking thing, that they could probably take your money away. But I think it's more so geared to you have to be making money doing the sex trafficking, bro. And I don't think that's the case right here. And I don't know how they got that confused. Because it seemed like they may have gotten it confused, brother. But I know I've been rambling. You got any questions, man, that you want to ask me about this whole case or whatever?
Yeah, so you believe he's still gonna do time for prostitution?
The prostitution charges has a mandatory anywhere from 10 to 15. But because I don't know what the minimum of it is, but because he's they would consider him a first time offender, the judge gonna know that he had violence. He may not have been charged with the violence or anything like that. He's going to go to jail, and I believe the judge, after reading those letters that stopped the bail, the judge is gonna hit him with probably the max, the mandatory max. And if he don't, It just goes to prove money always buys your freedom. Sometimes. It didn't Bill Cosby because they really wanted him. They really wanted him. There's some people that they can make shit up on and they'll get them and go away. They knew Bill Cosby wasn't supposed to go nowhere. That's why when he did his appeal, he walked out those doors. Diddy is going to jail and nobody is going to be able to stop that. He's going to have to do time. He's going right now. He is livid behind those bars. He thought he was walking out that courtroom today. That dude Nash, Cassie Friend, wrote a 3 or 4 page letter to the judge talking about how his life and Cassie's life was in danger. And it must have been touching because the judge mentioned it. The third party letters changed his mind. The third party letters changed his mind. People, why do you think Cassie's lawyer was there for the last couple of days? Are y'all thinking? They already knew this was coming down. They already knew that they was only going to get 2 charges on those verdicts. He already knew that Puff's lawyers was going to go to try to get him bailed. Why do you think Cassie's lawyer was there for the last couple of days, showing up in the courtroom? That didn't dawn on you? Y'all got to make sense of this. They already knew that they was not getting the RICO. They wasn't getting the racketeering, which is together basically. They wasn't getting the kidnapping and all this other shit like that. They already knew that. They knew that he was going to get the pimp charges because that's what he got. The Mann Act. He got the pimp charges. So now in getting the pimp charges, Pimp Diddy, Cassie's lawyer said, yo, I'll be right here to drop this letter from my client. Your Honor, don't give him bail. They gave him letters. The judge said, hold up, we're going to break for lunch. We ain't coming back to 5 o'clock. It weighed on him. He got all the evidence. He know all the stuff that couldn't make it based on litigation. He know all the stuff that should have made it but couldn't. This judge was probably one of the smartest persons in that whole room. And he understood, your brother, he understood that after reading those letters, Diddy is worse than old dog. He was a menace to society. And what'd he do? Nah, you don't get your get out of jail free card. You don't get to go past go. You don't get to land on go. You going straight back to jail. You gonna sit there and you gonna wait. So, them people just saying that Diddy didn't do it, he did do it. He scarred a lot of those people for life. Diddy did do it, y'all. And he gonna go to jail for it. Because I said this on the last program. You might not get it when you're supposed to. But karma is a mother. you gonna get it somehow, some way, somewhere. And that's what's happening. He getting it. You know what it was? For him to go back to that jail, they let his mama sign to put up $1 million bond. He think he going home. This is the time he might go back in there and really do a Epstein. I wouldn't give a damn. I wouldn't care. He might go back in there. I know he heavy medicated right now. This is crazy. This is crazy, man. He's sitting there thinking that he was going home, and the same judge that turned down a $50 million bond just turned down another $1 million bond. And I feel good about that. I don't care. And when I say I don't care, man, it doesn't move me one way or the other. You understand what I'm saying? But I'm happier. You understand? I'm happier when I know this nigga is getting his just dessert. He's getting what he deserved for what he did to a lot of people. And I don't know anybody that come and watch this YouTube and they can front all they want to. When you start loving your enemies, when you start loving people that you don't give a shit about, that did you wrong, did people that you know wrong, did dirty shit to a lot of people. When did you start loving that? Oh, when you went to a Diddy party? Or because you want to go on a Diddy world tour, a reunion tour? That's when you start loving them? This dude wouldn't piss on you if you was on fire. That's how dark his heart is. But y'all ingrates is in the neighborhood celebrating, wondering how I feel. I'm still ahead of the game. Any way you look at it. Any way you look at it. Money don't make the man. The man's supposed to make the money. But we can't tell y'all that. Bruh, this dude was a psychotic sexual deviant that beat women. Y'all seen how he beat, well, we see how he beat Cassie. Gina told us how he beat her. We heard how he beat Misa. We know Kim got tired of getting hit, that she cut his wrist. One of the choreographers, when they had to making the band stuff, he did something to her. Countless of lawsuits that he settled out. But y'all celebrating him? Keep that shit in the hood. Because if that shit is good in the hood, I don't want no part of it. I don't want a bit part of it, man. Because what it's going to do is, it's going to cause somebody else to think they can get away with the shit that he got away with.